Welcome guys to a brand new series that we're going to be launching into on the channel here. This is an old game. This is King's Quest 6, air today, gone tomorrow. And I thought it'd be fun to check out. If you guys have never seen this game or never played this game, I would encourage you to just, check it out and see what you think. Stick with us for an episode and see what you think, because the graphics, they're a little bit dated, but this is an old Sierra game. It's point and click, and it is a lot of fun. There's a few puzzle aspects and things you've got to solve, and there's a really good story behind it. So if you guys haven't seen anything of the King's Quest series, then check this one out. I've picked King's Quest 6 because this is my childhood right here. This was the game that we had on the PC that I had growing up, and man, I sunk hours into this game, and it's been quite a few years since I've last played it, and I thought it'd be fun to take another look and get that nostalgia kick and enjoy the game again and see if I can get the perfect ending. Because it has been quite a while since I played it, and I'm not sure if I remember exactly how to go about doing that, but we'll find out. So, let's start a game here. Long ago, in the castle of a kingdom called Daventry,
Alexander, here you are. Oh, you're still not thinking about Casima, are you?
I suppose I am.
Son, it's been months. You've got to pull yourself together. After all, you only met her that once.
I know.
Have you discovered anything about the land of the Green Isles?
No. No one's even heard of it. It's like she's just vanished.
I wish I could help. Please try to think about something else, dear.
I'll try, Mother.
despite his family's concern, Alexander remains tormented by thoughts of Casima.
Alexander, I feel so alone. I don't know what to do. Alexander, I wish you were here.
Casima! Wait! Mother! Mother, come quick!
Alexander, what on earth? You're white as a ghost.
Mother, I saw Casima. She was in the mirror.
In the mirror? The magic mirror?
Yes! And it showed me how to find her.
How?
The stars! I saw the stars outside her window. I can navigate by the stars.
Oh, Alexander, if you really go...
It will be all right, Mother. I promise.
3 long months Prince Alexander sailed the known seas and beyond.
Land ho! Land ho! Land ho!
Hours pass. As the ship nears the shore, day turns to night and the sea turns violent. King's Quest. So yeah, this is you. You play Alexander. And your ship has crashed. And so right click cycles through all the different curses. You can look around at things.
Alexander's royal insignia ring lies abandoned on the sand. It must have slipped from his finger during the shipwreck. Fortunately, it was not lost in the sea.
So it is narrated and voice acted, and it's
Alexander picks up his royal insignia ring from the beach.
and it's obviously going to take me a little bit of time to get used to not speaking over it, but we'll figure it out.
A long plank lies on the beach. No doubt it once belonged to Alexander's ship.
So yeah, you can look at pretty much everything. There's dialogue options for a lot of the stuff.
Alexander pushes the plank to one side. A box has been partially buried under sand.
I remember this secret.
There's nothing of interest in that part of the box. Alexander takes the coin and leaves the ruined box where it is.
Awesome. We got a coin. And I think that's about all we can do on the beach for now.
The remains of Alexander's sailing ship lie dashed upon the distant shore.
Don't try and walk into the water. I worked that one out the hard way. Alright, so we can see, off in the distance here, we've got a castle.
In the distance, a majestic castle shines in the sun.
And off this way.
To the left, a small village seems to invite the weary traveler. A hollow in the trunk of the old tree forms a perfect nesting place for wildlife.
Let's have a look.
Alexander examines the tree's hollow, but finds nothing of interest.
I can't remember if that is ever a thing or not. I remember every time I used to walk past here, I used to try and see if there was something in there.
Alexander is standing on a sunny village street. There are open shops to his right, a hard-packed path beneath his feet, and palm trees waving over his head. To the north, a key-shaped arch leads to another part of the village. An old beggar is peddling his wares in the village. He offers a variety of lamps, all neatly lined up on a long pole.
Let's take a look at these lamps.
Good day, peddler.
Good day, sir. If you would like to get one of my fine new lamps, I'll need an old lamp in trade.
Isn't it a rather bad business? Taking old lamps and giving new lamps in exchange?
Well, there's always a chance that I'll find a genie. If I had a genie, well, I'd be richer than a king. Besides, there's always a roaring business in antique luminaries.
The peddler's pole provides convenient transportation of the lamp seller's wares. There are 6 new lamps on the pole. Alexander will have to deal with the lamp seller if he wants to obtain one of those new lamps.
How fare you, peddler?
And lad, have you an old lamp for me yet?
Okay, I think later on we get to deal with him a little bit more, but let's go and have a look in the pawn shop.
Good day.
Alexander searches for a way to reach the black-haired girl whose memory will not escape him. The pawn shop's counter is made of a sturdy teak. The wood is well worn by eager hands and well oiled by the shop's faithful keeper. Alexander searches for a way. An elegant little glass dish decorates the countertop. The dish is full of green mints offered for the enjoyment of the customer.
Let's take a mint.
Alexander takes a mint.
Good day, merchant. Can you tell me what land this is?
By the moon's light, what a question! You must have been out too long in the sun, or perhaps knocked your head upon a rock.
No. Well, perhaps. I was in a shipwreck, you see. My crew and I were trying to reach the land of the Green Isles. I think, well, at least I hope, my men got away safely in the lifeboats. But I myself appear to be rather stuck here.
Ah, I see. You must pardon my incredulity, but it has been so long since we have had a foreign visitor. You wrecked your ship, young traveler, due to the currents and reefs around the islands. If your crew was wise enough to steer clear of the isles and head home, they should be fine. In any case, you have met your objective, however bumpy the journey.
You mean, this is the land of the Green Isles? Oh, thank the heavens! I had followed the stars, you see, and I thought I was close, but...
The stars? You must be quite a sailor. But what is the purpose of your visit?
I come for... Well, I mean, I hope to see... I met some time ago.
Say no more. You are smitten with a maiden, are you not? What other than love could so confuse a man's tongue?
I'm afraid so. It is Princess Casima.
By the desert sands, when you fall in love, you do not mess around, do you?
Is she here?
This is the Isle of the Crown, young man. The castle of the Crown stands on the hill. If it is Casima you seek, that is where to look.
The Castle of the Crown. Thank you, merchant.
And good luck to you, lad. You shall need it.
Alright, so we're learning a little bit about Alexander's story here.
Alexander takes a closer look at the items on the counter.
I see you have noticed my mechanical nightingale. She is made of plain tin, but she sings the sweetest song you can imagine, barely distinguishable from the real thing. The flute is only made of plain wood, but its notes are fine and true. Ah, yes, the painter's brush. It was well used by one of the island's best painters. There's a lot of creativity in that brush, and its bristles are still in good condition. Have you an interest in tinder boxes? This one is only slightly battered. It holds a good supply of flint, a sturdy striking pad, and even a candle in case you find yourself with naught else to hold the flame.
Okay, so we need each of these at certain points throughout the game, but I think, if I remember correctly, we want to get the flute first.
I'm interested in that flute on the counter.
What do you desire to give me in trade? The items on the front counter are all of equally slight value. worth only a copper or two. They are handy items nonetheless.
Actually, I might be mistaken. I think actually it's the nightingale that we want to have first. But I do remember we have to trade our ring for it.
Can you tell me, merchant, what the value of this ring might be?
By the sands of the sea, what a beauty! What fine gold and masterful artistry! This ring is quite valuable, sir. I would not feel right taking it in trade. None of the items on display in my humble store are even close to the value of this ring.
Truly? Well, it would be hard to part with it anyway, I suppose.
I might be wrong then. We have a coin. I'm not sure if that's enough.
I have this copper coin. Is it of any value to you at all?
Most interesting. I have never seen a Daventry coin before, but it is copper genuine enough. I might even find a buyer who is interested in foreign currency. The items on the front counter are the only things in the store that I can let go for the price of 1 copper. You may make your choice from there.
Alexander looks at the items on the counter to make his selection.
Alright, we're going to take the nightingale, because I know that'll get us out of trouble at
That
one point.
mechanical nightingale looks intriguing. I believe I'll take it.
Very well. Your coin is well spent. Remember, this is a pawn shop. I am always willing to take back my own goods in trade.
I'll remember. Thank you.
Okay, so if you guys are not familiar with Sierra games, they kill you often and without warning. So save often, as a good general rule, so that you can reload a save. Because yeah, there will be occasions where if you didn't pick the right item, or if you wander into the wrong place, you will just die.
I will be right up. Now, what can I do for you?
Alright, we want to have a good look around this place, because there are a couple things that we need to get here.
There's a small table near the door that bears a sign. The sign has undergone a number of changes. It once read 10 pence, but that was crossed out and replaced with 5 pence, then 1 pence, then free. The sign currently reads, "Take one, please." Only 1 book remains on the table. It looks like the bookshop owner really wants to get rid of that book.
And we'll take it, because why not?
Alexander picks up the book from the small table.
Oh, yes, please, take that book. You have my most humble thanks for doing so, good sir.
Really? Thanks.
Alright. Take note of this this hooded figure in the back here. When he turns around, just watch his eyes.
There's a book entitled The Changing Role of Court Entertainers Through the Ages on the small table in the reading area. It appears that some regular customer likes that book.
There he goes. Look at him. He's got, I don't know if you caught it, he's got, his eyes are gold and they glint. You'll see that reoccur in a few different places.
These shelves hold a collection of oddly titled guidebooks. Alexander notices such books as How to Become King with Little or No Rupees Down, Finding the Right Girl with the Right Dowry, and Why Good Princesses Like Bad Wizards. Alexander is not interested in those self-help books. Thinking of Casima, Alexander decides to leaf through one of the volumes of love poetry. He reads, "Thy hair, thy lips, thy beauteous face, and all thy studied female grace have won for thee anon a place within this broken breast." Not bad. And another. "Upon the shore the lilies bend, untouched by worldly care, where shadow they her earthly bed, oh, that she were not there." Yikes. And another. What was it when I looked at you? What power has chained me through and through, and binds my heart with links so tight I cannot live without the sight of you? What nameless thing has captured me, and made me powerless to flee? What thing is it without a name, that brings my mind e'er back the same to thee? The name of love cannot apply. Its commonness does not decry the haunted, hunted, painful cry that my heart makes for you, that e'er my soul eternal makes for you.
A little close to home, that one.
Alexander returns the love poem book to the shelf.
You see the page fell out.
Alexander picks up the fallen page. It's the love poem he particularly liked. It must have fallen out of the poetry book.
I see that old volume has lost another page. You may keep it if you like, sir. I have glued the stubborn thing back in place 2 times already.
I do rather like it. Thank you, merchant.
Awesome. We got a page of poetry.
Alexander rests his feet for a moment. Alexander picks up and leafs idly through a book called The Changing Role of Court Entertainers Through the Ages. Well, that was refreshing.
Alright, let's see if we can talk to these people.
Good day, sir.
The mysterious old man just ignores Alexander.
Good day, sir. I'm a stranger in this land. What can you tell me about the land of the Green Isles?
That is quite a question, young man. Who are you, and what would you have me tell you?
My name is Alexander. I know I'm on the Isle of the Crown, but I'd like to know whatever you can tell me about this island, and if there are other islands nearby.
You are indeed a stranger. Anxious is the man who knows not the customs of the land beneath his feet. This island is called the Isle of the Crown, because the royal family's castle is here. Besides the castle, we also have this village, and the docks over to the west. There are at least 3 other islands: the Isle of the Sacred Mountain, the Isle of the Beast, and the Isle of Wonder.
At least 3? Does no one know for certain?
This is no ordinary land, Alexander. The land of the Green Isles has always been a place of vague boundaries, as if islands come and go. Legend speaks of a 4th island, an isle shrouded in mists. I myself have never seen it. Then, too, the land of the Green Isles is said to exist on the boundaries of this world and the next. Even darker places are reputed to be closer here than anywhere else in the world.
That's quite a claim.
Claim, yes, but probably just local superstition. We who live here on the Isle of the Crown, at least, sleep well enough at night.
Those first 3 islands you mentioned, how might I learn more about them?
Ideally, a young man seeking such knowledge would travel to their shores and learn about them firsthand. Meeting the leaders of each place would be helpful, naturally. Unfortunately, the ferry no longer runs between the islands. There has been much political unrest, and it has been too dangerous to travel for years. Perhaps the ferryman can tell you more. He has little enough to do these days. And if you haven't been there already, you might seek an audience at the castle.
Thank you kindly, merchant, for all your good advice.
Ah, but advice is free, Alexander. Making use of it costs much more.
Cool.
An antique leather-bound book is displayed on a little stand on the counter. On the elaborate cover is the title, Ye Useful Book of Magic Spells.
Let's ask about that.
How much for that book on the counter, merchant?
It is a fine book, is it not? I obtained it from the estate of the one and only magician this kingdom has ever had. Poofed himself into an aardvark in the end, or so I heard. I never found the spells all that useful myself, but then I lead a boring life. I tell you what, if you can find another rare book, something a bit more marketable, I might be willing to exchange the spell book for it.
Alright, so we got to keep our eyes out for a rare book if we want to get our hands on the spellbook. Alright, while we're here, let's head across this way and see what we can find out here.
There's a young girl in the yard. The girl is dressed in a long, plain orange robe with a thick headdress. From the appearance of her clothes, and from a skittish, fearful look about her, Alexander gets the strong impression that she is a servant, or even worse, a slave. The serving girl appears to be stealing a quiet moment tending the rose bushes. Red roses beautifully cover the top of the house's fence and gate arbor. The girl is too far away to hold a conversation with Alexander.
That's about...
You lazy thing! Get back to work and stay away from those roses! I've told you 1,000,000 times, those flowers are too sweet for the likes of you! You've still got to do the breakfast dishes, make lunch, and clean the stables yet this morning! And get your veil back on! No one wants to look at your face!
Yes, stepmother.
I think that's about all we can do right here. Until later. So let's head on over to the docks.
Hey, stranger, come join me. The water is wonderful, and I can show you the way to the next island.
Now if you're paying attention, you will notice that his eyes are gold
Come on,
and
jump
glinting.
in. A little water won't hurt you.
And he's lying. I have tried this before. Don't jump in the water.
What are you waiting for? I said I'd show you how to get to the next island, didn't I?
There are strong currents basically all around the islands. If you go in the water, it drags you out into sea and you drown.
That's strange. The young boy in the water just disappeared. Oh well, perhaps he just dove under the water.
Yeah, so we're not going in the water. We will not be fooled by that.
A worn wooden vessel has been dry docked on a jetty. The boat is in sad shape. A hole in the hull and the condition of its boards make it obvious that the vessel is no longer seaworthy.
Yeah, what do you want?
Excuse me. My name is Alexander. The owner of the bookshop in the village told me you might be able to help me. I hear you used to run this ferry for the islands. I'd like to talk to you if you have a moment.
You say old Allie sent you? I can't see why. The ferry's not running, you know.
I understand. I'd just like to talk to you about the islands if you don't mind.
Well, I guess it'd be all right if Allie sent you. Well, don't just stand there. Come on inside. What is it you wanted to talk about, young man?
I'm a visitor to these islands. I'd like to learn what I can about the area.
So you said outside. What is it you want to know?
Well, for one thing, why has the island's only ferry been dry docked?
Huh.
It just ain't safe to sail these days, what with the islands feuding and all. Wazir Al-Hazred ordered the ferry closed till things settled down. Me, I don't think she'll ever see water again.
But why are the islands feuding?
You got me. Something about stolen property or some such thing. 'Tis a real shame. Things used to be so friendly.
Then this unrest is recent.
A few years is all, but it's been long enough.
Perhaps if the ferry were repaired.
This old thing? This ferry's been out of water so long she's no longer even seaworthy. Her boards have dry rot. She'd fall apart at the first taste of seawater.
But there must be some way to get off this island.
There's only one other way to travel that I know of. A magic map. The owner of the pawn shop can tell you more about that than I can, Alexander.
Let's take a look at what he's got on the table here.
There's a rabbit's foot on the table. It seems the ferryman is counting on a little luck.
I see you have a rabbit's foot. Has it brought you much luck?
As you can see, my luck's been out for some time now, despite that old charm. Why don't you take it with you? Perhaps giving the darn thing away will bring me good fortune at last.
Perhaps it will at that. Thank you.
Let's got ourselves a rabbit's foot.
Tell me more about the ferry.
I remember when I used to ferry Queen Ilaria and Princess Casima themselves. There was no thought of danger back then. They used to go visiting to care for the needy and to keep up the friendly relations between the islands. I remember their last trip. Things had started getting nasty by then, and when they came back aboard, I gathered that the Queen and the Princess had been received a bit coldly. Princess Casima was such a pretty thing, and she was terribly upset. But who could be spreading these lies, she asked the Queen, but the Queen had no answer.
What do you do now that the ferry no longer operates?
Me? I'm out of a job. The job my ancestors have held for generations. I'm the only one trained to avoid the reef and the rocks. But that knowledge does me no good now.
Is there no other boat on the island? One that might be more seaworthy?
Boats don't last long on these shoals, as you may have found out if you got here by ship. You can be quite sure that this old ferry is, or was, the only craft on the island.
Tell me more about Princess Casima.
Ah, such a beautiful child, and so pure of heart. Why, a contrary thought has never crossed her mind. Her mother was the same. The king and queen. They served the islands, not the other way around. Always thinking about the people. Ah, they are sorely missed.
What else can you tell me about the land?
Let's see. The Isle of Wonder's a lovely spot. A bit crazy, mind you. Gotta have a good sense of humor to enjoy a tour there.
What else can you tell me about the land?
The inhabitants of the Isle of the Sacred Mountain are the most gorgeous creatures you'll ever see. If you ever get to see them, that is.
What else can you tell me about the land?
The Castle of the Crown sure is a beauty. She's the finest palace ever built, I'll warrant.
Alright, let's head out.
Well, I think I'll be going now. Thanks for allowing me into your home.
Posh, not at all. It breaks the boredom, if you know what I mean.
Alright, so let's head back over to the castle now. See if we can get an audience with Princess Casima. Actually, on our way through, we will stop in at the pawn shop and ask the merchant about the magic map that the ferryman mentioned.
Good day.
And here is this mysterious figure again.
Good day, sir.
The old man just glares at Alexander and does not reply.
Excuse me, merchant, but the ferryman mentioned that you might have a magic map of the land of the Green Isles.
Why, as a matter of fact, I do. I keep it under the counter. It's been gathering dust so long that I nearly forgot about it. It was quite a few years ago, you see. The estate of a wealthy wizard fell into my hands when he died. It was useless magical junk mostly, which reminds me, I've still got some things of his in the back that I need to dump out. Anyway, the magic map was the one true treasure in the lot. The wizard was quite old and feeble and had enchanted the map to aid in traveling. It is said that one need only desire to be on an island depicted on the map to find oneself there. It is a very valuable map, as you can imagine. Unfortunately, no one is interested in traveling these days. It is far too dangerous with the current state of the kingdom.
What would you take for the map?
I would normally want something magic in return, but since I am hardly overrun with prospective buyers, I would be willing to take anything of equal value in exchange.
Alright, let's see if he wants our ring.
Would you be willing to take my family ring in exchange for the magic map?
Daventry, are you a king then?
No, that's my father, King Graham. I'm just Alexander.
Well, Prince Alex, she is a beautiful ring. Are you sure you can part with such a unique family heirloom?
The ring does mean a lot to me. I didn't always have a family, you know. Still, it is only gold. There are more important things at stake now.
Then you now own a magic map, Prince Alex. I will keep your ring out of sight for a few days. If you find anything else of great value in your travels, you can come back for your ring. I would hate to see it melted down for gold. Ah, and a warning about the map. It will only operate when you are out in the open and within sight of the sea. The limitation has something to do with the teleport spell ingredients. You might try the beach.
Thank you. You are very kind, and I'll remember about the map.
Suddenly, the old man in the concealing cloak sneaks past Alexander, and with a sneaky dart of his hand, steals a mint from the candy jar. The old man stuffs the mint into his mouth and wobbles unsteadily out of the pawn shop.
Seconds later in the castle.
Master, I was observing in the village as you wished, and I saw a manger. I don't know, a danger? No, a stranger there. He says, he's Prince Alexander of Daventry.
You fool! You've been eating those mints again. I ordered you to stop that.
Yes, master.
Now, who did this stranger say he was?
Prince Alexander of Daventry, I think.
You idiot! Are you trying to tell me that Prince Alexander of Daventry is here? Confound it! That's the young man Casima met at Mordak's castle. The timing could not be worse. Tell me, what is he doing?
He was in the pawn shop buying a magic smap.
Magic smap? What is this magic smap?
With the smap, he can travel to other islands, master.
That's a map, you dolt! Oh, drat it all! I thought I took care of the only means of travel. By my scimitar! I can't have him stirring things up! Not now! Get a hold of yourself and listen carefully, Shamir. Go to the other islands and tell them...
Okay, so we just had a little bit of a peek into the castle there, and yeah, it turns out that that mysterious guy that's been following us around is actually a genie, and the guy that he was talking to there, I think, is the current regent, if I remember correctly, or something along those lines. Oh, and look, the nightingale is up in the tree now as well. Now let's head up to the castle real quick and see if we can get an audience with Casima, although something sinister seems to be happening, so we may not be able to, but we'll go up and have a look and see what we can see.
Two guards take their stance in front of the castle doors. They look quite fierce and have the stiff, blank expression of soldiers on formal duty. Alexander firmly addresses the guards at the Castle of the Crown, determined to get an audience with Casima.
Good day, guard dogs. I am Prince Alexander of Daventry, and I would like...
Prince Alexander of Daventry? He's the one, Wolf.
See here now. We've been warned about you. Wazir al-Hazred has issued strict orders that you're not to be allowed anywhere near the castle.
Me? But I haven't even met the Wazir.
Never mind your excuses. You're on our list of undesirables and will not be getting into the castle today or any day. Now off with you.
Okay, so we've been denied entry into the castle. We cannot see Princess Casima, who we've come all this way to find. And there's nothing around the side of the castle right now either. So, we're going to call the episode here because it's getting to be about that time. But in the next episode, I think we're going to use our magic map and check out some of the other islands and see if we can unravel some of the mysteries here. So thanks for joining me, guys. I really hope you enjoy this game. If you do, go ahead and leave me a like or leave me a comment, let me know what you think, and I hope to see you guys in the next episode.